as the #1 in the nation, Penn State Nittany Lions come into Welch Arena here in Evanston, Illinois to take on this afternoon's duel. And Hayden, there's just rankings all over the place on that Nittany Lions side.
Yeah, there's a lot of rankings, top
74 pounds. At this one, Levi Haynes against Eddie Enright. Haynes, #1 in the nation, Hayden, one of several unblemished records on this Penn State roster.
Yeah, this is
Get ready to go at 174. Thanks for joining us on Big Ten Plus. Northwestern in the black singlets with the purple and white trim. It's the navy blue for the Nittany Lions.
Levi Haynes, such an aggressive wrestler. Getting in that shoebox right away. A lot of good hand fighting. Big crowd here, Welch Ryan.
Levi Haynes won the first 10 matches of his season with bonus points, was held, though, to just a decision on Friday.
Doing a good job of not playing into Haynes' game. Haynes trying to get in on those long legs of Enright. Enright, a taller 174-pounder.
Enright coming off an 11-4 victory on Friday evening against the Badgers.
Doing a good job of hand fighting right now, not really letting Levi Haynes get to where he wants to be. It's going to be tough to get some of his offense of his own.
Haynes, a senior, targeting a 4th consecutive Big Ten individual title this year.
First stall call right there. Not much from Enright so far. Just trying to not let Haynes get to the legs, but right as that stall comes in, Haynes doing what he does best.
Enright just trying to hold his ground.
Step over and he does. That knee was getting in an uncomfortable spot. Levi Haynes knew that it's probably getting close to a potentially dangerous, so does a good job to switch to that double, get the 3-point takedown.
The Hawkeyes registering just 2 takedowns on Friday night against the Nittany Lions. And there's the first of the evening tonight. Wildcats will at least be hoping to improve on that number, as we'll get a reset before any escape was called. As you get a look there at the Penn State bench. Cael Sanderson, that .930 winning percentage.
Just does such a good job at building this dynasty and keeping it. You know, the thing that's so special about Penn State, it's guys who've been in the program for a long time. You know, you're going to see when we get to the lighter weights a lot of true freshmen in the lineup, and that's just because of how deep it is. But when guys get hurt, there's a lot of guys in this Penn State room that can step up as well, and guys having to take red shirts, All-Americans having to take red shirts just to give someone else their turn. That's the luxury of being in that Penn State room with all that depth.
No shortage, though, of experience managing these kinds of rosters, though, for the Penn State coaching staff. Of course, Sanderson in his 17th season, his older brother Cody, along with Casey Cunningham, also in their 17th years as his associate head coaches.
Yeah, I mean, it's been consistent, and that's the part about building the dynasty, is to keep the same guys in there, and that's what they're built on. Nick Lee came on as an assistant coach over the past couple seasons, but like you said, just keeping guys within the program. There's not a lot of outside hires, They trust what they got going on. He's trying to get some backs right here. He's got short time to work with.
Enright did well there just to get back on his stomach after a potentially dangerous-looking position, and that is how the first period will end. Only a 3-point lead for Haynes, but a lot of work done there, and you got to imagine Eddie Enright is feeling a little winded at the end of that first frame.
Yeah, but you got to be happy with how the first start of that went, because it took a little bit for Haynes to get comfortable to his offense, and then staying good on bottom right there. Haynes had an opportunity to maybe get a turn, see what he can do in the top position.
Looking for an early escape, which he gets. And let's see if Haynes turns up the temperature here on Enright in the second period. Going right back to that right leg of Enright. That's where he got the first takedown in the first period. And he'll get his second one the same way.
Yeah, and Enright's tough to take down. Those legs are hard to get on, and you got to get on him quick. Otherwise, he does such a good job of switching those hips, getting back to a better position. But like you said, it's tough being in the bottom position, especially against a strong wrestler like Levi Haynes, working those wrists.
We've talked already this season, Hayden, certainly Enright as he gets his escape, one of the taller wrestlers you're going to see in this weight class as he takes his own shot here.
He's in on a shot right now, but good defense to get around to that far ankle. Now basically a scramble position, but Eddie Enright got to those legs right off the escape. Still has a shot here, but Haynes, all these Penn State wrestlers are such good scramblers. We'll get a stalemate.
Both wrestlers with one of the other's ankle in a really awkward position.
Ball in those snaps. Ball and snap in. Right there. Keep snapping, move your feet. You force that offense, Eddie. Stop it. Center.
40 seconds to go in period 2. 7-1 the lead.
Take the shot. Let it fly. Let it fly. Come on, balance.
Again, Haynes looking to get back to bonus point winning ways after having his 10-match streak to begin the season snapped with simply a decision victory on Friday.
You know, that was probably his toughest match of the season thus far, going against Iowa's Patrick Kennedy, another All-American. Gets another takedown. Probably ride him out here.
Just straightforward on that occasion. Got his arms around his hips, got the mat return, and that was that. And it's a 10-1 lead heading to the third period here at 174.
Yeah, and getting those takedowns at the end of period is so huge. You know, you really just beat a guy down. It's tiring. You know, who can execute when they're tired? And you know, the end of the second and all throughout the third period.
Got to look there at Cody Sanderson, elder of the Sanderson brothers on that Penn State bench.
Ready to wrestle. Ready. Don't relax here.
Gets the escape right there.
Certainly Eddie Enright battling in this first match of the afternoon, and again, it's tough to set expectations when you're taking on such an experienced and highly skilled wrestler like Levi Haynes.
Yeah, and I think the expectation with yourself is try to wrestle 3 periods or as long as you get. Don't give away easy takedowns, which I think Eddie Enright's done a pretty good job to start this match, getting a little bit tougher now as the experience of Haynes kind of taken over.
That's his 4th takedown of the match, and it feels like they're getting increasingly emphatic as this match has gone on.
Yeah, getting a little bit easier for sure.
A minute to go here in the third period. 11-point margin right now. And Haynes likely strategizing if he can get to a tech fall in the next 57 seconds.
Yeah, I got to get another takedown here, and likely another, but you know, this is the part, you know, you go into coaching when, you know, you're going against the #1 guy in the nation. Do the best you can to do, like, good scramble right there. Quickly gets to that ankle. Just the strength, the pains. Still fighting, though, is Enright.
Certainly no shortage of that for the young Wildcat in this one.
But see, like right now, this fight right here is just banking that time, doing a good job. Haynes is gonna have to get another takedown. He wants that tech fall. You see him cutting.
And now he's got to get that one more takedown though before this period ends. He's got it. And the officials will stop this, and it's a 10-fall victory to get things going today for Penn State.
Picking up right where he left off. Levi Haynes keeping his #1, likely the favorite at NCAAs later this season. Going to be fun to watch down the stretch.
And we'll move on to 184 pounds. Rocco Welch coming off a victory over the #1 ranked wrestler in the country, taking on J.D. Perez of Northwestern.
Yeah, and Rocco Welch coming after one of the biggest wins of his career. A really tight match on Friday, went to tiebreakers. They knew that was going to be a fun one, but Rocco Welch likely putting himself up for that #1 ranking. The new rankings come out tomorrow.
You would have to think so. We've got an even more interesting case of that with Josh Barr, likely up next at 197, a guy who went from not being ranked at all, wrestled 2 duels, won them both handily, and right to number 1 he went.
Well, I think that the reason for Barr is, he's definitely the number 1 guy. Everyone knows who he is, making his presence known over the past couple seasons. Last year didn't get that victory. As Iowa's Stephen Buchanan able to get it at 197 pounds, but he's there. And, people across the nation know he's likely the number 1 guy at this weight class.
Just needed to actually see him take the mat in 2025-26 as we have the first takedown here at 184.
Welch quickly getting to his offense. Got a bar right there. It's actually Perez who got it in on the leg right away, but Rocco Welch trying to do something here in the top position. He's going to try to run. He's trying to control that wrist, that far wrist, switches back over.
J.D. Perez, the 2025 NAIA Wrestler of the Year, has made a 2-0 start in the Big Ten, but is in trouble here.
He's in big trouble right there. Switched his hips quick. It's going to be tough for Welch to finish right there, as Perez is able to get out of it.
Really, really impressive there by J.D. Perez. Looked like he was about to get pinned, and to your point, Hayden was able to flip those hips quickly enough, and it's just 3-1 now, halfway through period 1. Right back on the attack for another takedown goes Welch.
Welch was an All-American 2 seasons ago at Ohio State, got second. Took a redshirt season last year. Now in the lineup at Penn State, and man, he's been a big get for Cael Sanderson.
Clearly feeling confident, basically just letting Perez go there for the escape. And J.D. Perez taking a shot.
That was pretty.
And the first takedown of the afternoon for the Wildcats. J.D. Perez, really a fearless wrestler coming into Big Ten action this season out of his NAIA career with so much confidence.
Well, and you got to come to these matches like you got nothing to lose. You got to let it fly a little bit right there. And you saw him get fancy there with a little bit of a trip. I don't think Welch was expecting it. But now you're in a match here. You got to keep going.
Well, you talk about winning as a habit, 29-0 for Perez last year.
Takes him to the sky right there. Good takedown there for Welch. What a fun first period.
Yeah, Welch may be making a point there after unexpectedly finding himself on the mat as we're under 20 seconds to go in period 1. Riding time will accumulate a few more seconds, and that will end a very active period 1 here at 184 in our second match of the day. As we'll take a look first here at Perez nearly getting pinned, but doing just enough to escape it.
Yeah, doing a really good job there. You see Welch kind of over pursuit there. He had to switch a couple times. And then right there, a good takedown there from Perez to kind of keep himself in this match.
Gets the immediate escape to begin period 2. And on a Northwestern team that's got a lot of methodical wrestlers, Perez, again, kind of like we were saying in the first period, he's going to let it fly.
Yeah, he likes that high crotch Welch does right there, as you see right there. But Perez, like you said, he likes to let it fly. We saw it against Lockhaven. He's not afraid of the big moves. He's not afraid of the competition. Like you said, he's a winner. He's won in his past. But now, the Big Ten's a different beast. It doesn't matter where you came from. Every time you step on the mat, you're going to get some good competition. You got to have a game plan.
But he's certainly letting Rocco Welch know what he's all about here. And this is our second match of the day. If you joined us late, we started at 174 with a tech fall victory for Levi Haynes. And Rocco Welch trying to plot a similar path here at 184, midway through period 2.
And when you're in a position like Rocco Welch, you can get those takedowns on your feet right now. But let's see what you can do in the top position. And I think that's what Penn State coaching staff can see. You didn't get it the first time. Let's see you readjust right now. He really likes that bar. Perez did a good job right there, but trying to run it. It's close. Needs to step over, and just again.
Perez, an escape artist of sorts.
Switches to a cradle. Good transition there. He's got some time to work with, but switches out of that cradle.
J.D. Perez losing his ankle band in the process there. Squirming his way out of some really dangerous situations, but Welch just exerting more and more control as the second period ticks down. Worth noting, Welch is yet to have a pin yet this season. He's been close a couple times here, but not been able to find it as he leads 18-7 at the end of 2. Here's another look at that escape by Perez.
Yeah, and Perez just doing a really good job of fighting out of there, but kind of over pursued, put himself in a cradle position. Welch not able to get it done there.
An 11-point margin with 2 minutes to go. Quick escape for Welch. And now he's going to go hunting for takedowns. Only needs 1.
Settles down and gets the 3-point takedown right there.
There is the takedown. And much like at 174, no one's done the mental math yet. Penn State bench is wondering where it is, and there we go. That's a 15-point margin, and that's a second tech fall. 2 matches, 2 tech falls. Just about what you'd expect from the Penn State Nittany Lions, Hayden.
Yeah, right there, Rocco Welch continuing his dominance. He's going to be a guy in mark points.
And Smith coming off a fall loss up in Madison on Friday. And immediately aggressive the first year. I hope that doesn't play right into Barr's hands.
Yeah, Barr quickly switching, but man, you gotta like what Smith came out with off the gun.
Well, because he's still got to be thinking a bit about that match on Friday night. He's not happy how that went.
Can't be too jumpy though against a guy like Barr. Smart wrestler. You want to come in with the aggression, but too much. These smart wrestlers know how to wrestle you.
Barr himself won by fall on Friday evening. And he's looking for another one right here, but for now, Smith escapes and only concedes a takedown.
Trying to get some near fall now. He's close.
Smith doing enough to prevent his shoulders from going past perpendicular to the mat. Barr, last year's national runner-up, again on the hunt here for back points, but again, can't quite turn Smith enough.
Yeah, gonna try to readjust a little bit. Likes that far wrist. It's gotta be close. Now he kind of put himself in his own position. Smith doing a good job on bottom.
When you saw there for a moment, Barr looked up at the referee, and in that moment, Smith used that as an opportunity, but he's in trouble now.
Switched to a cradle, and that was a good move. Edge of the mat, you got to keep wrestling. Barr doing a really good job to use all that space, and there it is.
A fall in 1 minute and 50 seconds here at 197. And Josh Barr showing why he's a favorite to not just be a runner-up this season, but to go to the top of the podium.
Yeah, he's got a real shot to be at the top of the podium. What I was so impressed right there is how he adjusted on the edge of the mat. Wasn't working to trying to get those near fall points. Got that knee in a position he liked and switched to the cradle, got the fall.
And we'll move on to the 285 matchup. It's a freshman in Cael Mirasola, ranked number 13th in the nation. He's taking on Gabe Christensen, the grad student for Northwestern. And kind of silly to say, but this is the lowest ranked wrestler we are likely to see for the Nittany Lions today, 13th in the country. Just another thing that speaks to their dominance, and already Mirasola has a takedown.
Yeah, it speaks to their dominance, but he's going to see himself jump up in those rankings as well. Big win on Friday against Iowa's Ben Keeter. But right away, 2 quick early takedowns.
And this is a very active start here in the heavyweight slot. You never know what kind of match you're going to get, but Mirasola clearly has a tech fall on his mind the way he's come out here.
Yeah, and I got to speak with Gabe Christensen a couple weeks ago, actually. He's a little bit smaller for this weight class, but he's happy at this weight. He's comfortable. He likes being quick. But Mirasola, maybe not the biggest heavyweight either. So this is kind of a position he would maybe like to, it's tough. You got two fast guys at 285 pounds. It's not really a style he's used to having to wrestle at this weight class.
And already Mirasola looking for a pin back-to-back, and this would be even quicker if he pulls it off. It's going to be near fall points. The question is how many? 4. And Mirasola then lets Christensen go and goes back to work. Just getting that strong grip constantly in the back of Christensen's head. And it's all going downhill for the Wildcat wrestler from there.
Yeah, and it's just those 2 quick takedowns right away. And then, Mirasola, a young guy as well, but, he's in a good room. He's got a lot of big guys that he can train with every day.
Mirasola, he dropped back-to-back matches against Lehigh and Wyoming back in December, but then since 4 wins in a row, a fall against North Dakota, a tech fall against Stanford, and then back-to-back decision victories against ranked opponents from Rutgers and Iowa.
Yeah, and, this is his first time with a Big Ten schedule as well, and he looks good so far. A big win on Friday against Ben Keeter. He looked dominant.
The Mirasola is just another family becoming a subset of the Penn State Wrestling family. His twin brother Connor also on the team. 6-1 so far this season, both redshirt freshmen. Cole here, though, setting a new mark for the highest scoring period we've seen from anybody yet today. As Christensen goes looking for the takedown. Only managed to get around the one leg.
Yeah, Mirasola looks comfortable in this scramble position, switches his hips, puts him in a little bit better spot to get that far ankle. He's got short time to work with, but gets around and gets the takedown.
And that'll do it, a tech fall in less than 3 minutes. Tech fall, fall, tech fall. That is how things have started for the Nittany Lions. And it's just been an exit 12th win of the season on Friday night. He's 2-0 in the Big Ten, 4-1 in duels. The redshirt sophomore from Nampa, Idaho. And Wildcats fans will be eager to see what he can do against Lilledahl. Coming off a close decision victory on Friday night.
Barr getting to a leg early. He's quick. Kind of took advantage of that space. Good defense there from Lilledahl. And you talk about that win on Friday, avenged a loss to Dean Peterson. Looked really good in that win. He gets to a leg now, trying to elevate.
And this is a clash of styles for sure. Lilledahl extremely active. Kind of looks like a bit of a ball with flailing limbs at times. Navarro, a wrestler who really wants to control the pace.
Yeah, he does, and it's tough, when you get a guy who also wants to do that, you got to find a way to control your own pace. And, you don't want to go down in this first period, drain your entire battery because, the last 4 minutes of the match aren't going to be fun for you.
Again, that last match at 285, taking less than a period to complete. And if you were looking at matches where the Wildcats could avoid conceding bonus points, here at 125 was probably the likeliest of any of them.
Yeah, for sure. And, Navarro doing a good job at the bottom position and even had a shot on that leg early. See how he does here with Lilledahl, how committed he is to the ride.
Already those 44 seconds of riding time.
Got a half in right now. Trying to control that far wrist, maybe get a tilt, but Navarro did a good job to get up to his feet. Back to neutral.
And there's the escape, and back on the attack immediately goes Lilledahl. Lilledahl, the St. Charles, Missouri native in suburban St. Louis, but then went out to Wyoming Seminary in Pennsylvania, legendary wrestling prep program there, and the most direct route to be a Penn State Nittany Lion from outside the state.
Yeah, it's definitely a good program. You see a lot of guys come out of there year after year. Had a really good high school campaign as well. Trying to finish a shot right here. Navarro doing a good job of getting around that waist. He's got that leg. Good. This is a good scramble right here from Navarro.
Got 22 more seconds to see out here in this opening period. And we'll get a stalemate and a reset with 14 seconds on the clock. You talk about Navarro not wanting to drain his entire battery in the first period. How do you think he's done here so far with that?
I think he's done a pretty good job, even in those positions, in the bottom position right there. I thought he did a good job of, not letting Lilledahl get anything going. And on his feet right here, he's doing a good job of controlling the mat the best he can. Lilledahl is just so twitchy with his attacks. It's so hard to defend.
You mentioned Lilledahl having a really good prep career in general. It's hard when you're a Penn State wrestler to be the first guy to do anything. Became the first American to win the U17, U20, and U23 World Championship titles, which is particularly impressive because he's still U20 eligible and simply went up arguably 4 years to go win that U23 title.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of that right now. Ooh, he switches to a cradle, breaks it, but man, right away. Had a shot at trying to get some near fall points, and funny you say it's hard to beat anything that a Penn State guy did. Carter Flau'jae last year became a 5-time national champion.
Yeah, that's the standard you're working with here for these guys from State College.
I mean, it's unreal. Just so many dominant guys. It's murderer's row, like you said, but just top to bottom, there's not a spot in the lineup that if you're doing Penn State that we got to take advantage right there, because there is no place to take advantage.
And they showed on Friday night that in matches where it's going to be lower scoring, where it's going to be a little closer, where points are going to be harder to come by, they can change that tempo and they can be very strategic and win matches with only 1 or maybe 2 takedowns and simply smother their opponents.
Yeah, for sure. And, you got to be trained for those matches as well, the ones that are going to go the full 7, and you got to be there the full 7 as well. So I think Coach Sanderson does a good job of, you see these matches where they get those quick tech falls or quick falls. In March, that's what really matters. Is you're going to need to be able to go to 7 minutes.
Navarro tripping as he spun out there to get the escape after the first takedown of this second period, and there is the second takedown in quick succession to build a bit of a lead here late. And Lilledahl, turning up the pace here in the final minute of period 2.
Yeah, tried a quick cradle right there, was going to cut him, and then I think coaches told him he had short time right there. Really trying to make Navarro work.
And these are the kind of moments for Navarro that are particularly tiring. They'll trail by 6 points heading to period number 3. A bit of a barrage from Luke Lilledahl there at the end of period 2.
Yeah, he kind of, he got that surge right there, got a little bit of confidence, and we're going to see that last takedown. Just continuing to drive. Navarro losing some. He's getting a little bit gassed right now. See if he can get something done in the top position.
Looks like he was immediately trying to roll Lilledahl there, but Penn State wrestler very resistant to that, quickly escapes. And now a 7-point lead. Looking to cross the threshold into bonus point territory.
Getting it on another leg. Lilledahl really taking advantage of Navarro kind of getting a little bit more tired. He wants to get some bonus of his own. He saw his teammates do it. He doesn't want to be the one left out.
Well, he's in major decision territory now with over a minute to work.
That would be a fun plane ride home. The only guy who's not getting some bonus.
Three tech falls and a fall so far for Penn State. We have a stalling warning against Navarro.
Excited for the next match at 33. Marcus Blaze, so good in his true freshman campaign, but Sean Speidel, a veteran, a guy who's been around for a while, coming off a big win last week versus Braxton Brown.
Lilledahl fully in catch and release mode here, hunting for a tech fall.
If he gets a takedown, rides him out, he'll get it.
Riding time has been secured. 14-point lead. Navarro needs an escape to avoid the tech fall. Can Lilledahl hang on for these last 3 seconds? He can, and it's a 4th tech fall of the day for Penn State. Diedrich Navarro held on pretty well in period 1, but then Luke Lilledahl just putting on a point. Hayden, a guy whose number is probably going to go down or up, depending on how you look at it, when those rankings come out on Tuesday.
Yeah, and wrestling Speidel right now, who will go on a knee, and so does Drake Isle on Friday, so kind of keeping the same game plan going. 2 veteran guys in Speidel and Ayala, so that was kind of the most interesting thing for me. But, you know, you look across the board, Marcus Blaze, he's been wrestling, senior wrestler since he was 16 years old. He's had so many big wins. We can talk about his resume forever. So, you know, that experience thing, it's not, he has, he is so used to wrestling guys out of college and, making a shot for that world team. So, that's why Cael Sanderson kind of trusts going to these true freshmen in the lineups, because they are so experienced in wrestling, senior guys, where that extra year, it's just holding them back.
Yeah, you look at his prep record, and you can't get much better than this. 4-time Ohio State champion for Perrysburg High School, a U17 and U20 world champion, 3rd place at the Olympic trials last year.
It's right there, and that's so difficult to do. As a college guy, it's impressive to see what they do against these senior guys, but to be out of high school and wrestle, how many tough wrestlers there are, former national champions, All-Americans, some guys coaching now. I mean, it's crazy.
And he's got 3 years to turn that 3rd place at the Olympic trials into a 1st or a 2nd place in 2028 to make Team USA. That's a long way away, but I'm sure he's already got that set as a personal goal.
Yeah, and these wrestlers, it's one goal at a time for him. And I'm sure, right now it's climbing those ranks and trying to get his first national championship. But 133, I think, is the toughest weight class, especially here in the Big Ten. That weight, I'm super excited for the Big Ten tournament. There is no avoiding anybody.
Yeah, he's certainly faced no shortage of talent, but it's the rapid-fire nature of being a wrestler in the Big Ten. So far, so good, though. 2-0 conference start for him, 12-0 on the season. 10 bonus point victories of those 12. And he's the 3rd wrestler tonight. We can note that Iowa on Friday, one of the only exceptions in his case, one of only 2 where he didn't get bonus points.
Get a potentially dangerous right there. Had a good start to the ankle pick, but Speidel, good defense right away. It's a fun scramble.
And this is the sort of pacing we've seen from a lot of matches tonight, at least on the first few we saw, where the opening round wasn't as high scoring, and then the Penn State wrestler just really took control in period 2. Sean Speidel playing good defense, showing a lot of patience right now.
Yeah, he's playing good defense, but he's also not doing a whole lot. That's why he's got that stall warning right there. Blaze really trying to get to that ankle pick, but Speidel kind of staying out of the box, and he's making Blaze adjust, so he is doing that right there, but hasn't gotten any offense of his own.
A takedown and escape, that's all in period 1. In a afternoon full of fireworks so far. Nothing too flashy there in those few minutes.
Yeah, for sure, and I think Speidel's done a good job of knowing Blaze's game plan. Like Marcus Blaze, he wants to go to that ankle pick, and he's done a good job of getting out of those attacks, but in doing so, he's gotten a stall warning, so He's going to have to push the pace a little bit here, but done a good job so far of taking out that ankle pick out of Blaze. See, escape right there, but almost had the leg.
Can also note this second half will be a little shorter than the first half was. Northwestern did not weigh in a wrestler at 165 pounds. That's partly why we started at 174 today. And so just the 4 matches in the second half tonight. Also, because of that, that means the Nittany Lions have already secured the duel, even if Northwestern were to get 4 fall victories in this second half. Approaching the midway mark of period 2 here at 1:33.
1 minute remaining in the period.
On our feet wrestling right here. Blaze hasn't really felt comfortable with any shots. As right as you say that, another stall, gets to a leg, switches up from the ankle pick. Good defense so far from Speidel, but Blaze is so quick. Trying to get that leg out. In a position, ooh, you get a potentially dangerous right there.
5-1 the lead after that stalling point awarded to Blaze. Speidel taking a shot to really change the dynamic of this matchup if he can get around, but well done to get back to his feet, or foot I should say, by Marcus Blaze. And Blaze can't quite turn that into points for himself, but well done there by Marcus Blaze to avoid conceding anything there in those final 20 or 30 seconds.
Yeah, and he did a good job on the edge of the mat. Almost had enough room to get his own takedown of his own. See what he can do on top right now. See if he wants to try and ride him out or if he likes where he's at on his feet.
You said it earlier, though, Hayden, you don't want to be the only guy going home to not get bonus points today. The way it's going right now for Penn State, you don't want to be the only guy to not get some sort of fall today.
Blaze is a patient wrestler. I mean, we joke about it now, but, you know, Speidel's a good wrestler. I mean, he's an experienced guy. He's done a pretty good job. You know, he has that stall, you know, those stall warnings, but you know, if he hasn't wrestled how he did, it might be a different match because that ankle pick is where Marcus Blaze has definitely wanted to be this afternoon.
Slight Central Michigan connection here. A very storied career as a Chippewa for Penn State. Associate head coach Casey Cunningham. And Speidel, a transfer from Central Michigan.
Speidel pulls the headgear right there, point to Blaze.
1 minute remaining in the period.
Just a 4-point margin, though, right now. If nothing else, Sean Speidel being feisty here in this match.
Yeah, he sure has. And quick re-attack there from Marcus Blaze. He moves so quick.
Blaze takes a look to the bench. They tell him to release and see if he can go get 1 or 2 more takedowns.
Good position right here, able to get the double leg. Another takedown. He's going to cut him again.
What a scheme. Sean Speidel.
That's what happens. 40 seconds left in the match. How many takedowns can you get? And there he gets that ankle pick he's been wanting all afternoon.
It's another takedown. That gets into 11 points. Riding time's not going to help, and this is going to be a major decision victory for Marcus Blaze. Gets Penn State up to 30 team points. And another really just dominant performance by a Nittany Lion, Hayden.
Yeah, really good. And it took him a little bit to get going. You know, maybe couldn't get to his offense maybe as best as he could right away, but, you know, took advantage there in the third period to really blow this one open.
Take a quick look at a couple of these late takedowns by Marcus Blaze.
So smooth. You know, he doesn't wrestle like a freshman right there. That ankle pick switches to a double. Able to push right through and get the easy three-point takedown.
We'll move on to 141 pounds in our third ranked-on-ranked matchup of the afternoon. It's number 7, Braeden Davis for Penn State. Number 32, Billy DeCraker, the first year for Northwestern.
Yeah, Braeden Davis moving up a couple of weight classes. Started at 25 a couple years ago, 33 last year, and was originally going to redshirt this year. But injuries to the lineup and the depth that this Nittany Lion room has, Braeden Davis steps in. Loss on Friday to Nazir Bailey, but Braeden Davis, he can be an All-American at this weight.
Yeah, Aaron Nagao, junior from La Habra, California, was slated to be the guy here at 141 this year, but he got injured in the final of the Black Knight Invitational and is out for the season. Very quick reset here. Davis, the only Penn State wrestler to not emerge victorious on Friday night in Iowa City.
Getting a little bit of blood time right here.
Don't often see a wrestler call blood time for themselves.
It was bugging him. It was bugging him. You saw, you know, after that last reset, he knew something was coming.
Basically calls his own timeout.
Craker doing a good job of pushing the pace on Davis early. Davis kind of had a leg right there. Two guys similar size, both a little bit stocky.
See him talking to Storniolo and Futrell, coaches on the Northwestern bench, DeCraker. And meanwhile, Davis getting worked on the Penn State bench, talking to Coach Cunningham. Gets a couple high fives and heads back to the mat with that left nostril plugged up. And we resume action after 45 seconds, having gone by in the first period. Back to some very active, aggressive wrestling here at 144 after that slower-paced 133 match.
Yeah, a lot of hand fighting early in this one. Try and snap down Davis.
DeCraker 10-4 in his debut campaign. 2-0 in the Big Ten so far. Decision victories against both Maryland and Wisconsin.
Friday, Davis just giving up that one takedown to Bailey. Couldn't find anything else in the second or third.
Davis, meanwhile, Big Ten champion back in 2024 at 125, an All-American at 133 last year, and stepping up to a third weight class this season. Talk about how hard it is to get in the lineup for Penn State with just how much talent there is. Flexibility like that and willingness to change weight classes is a great way to do it.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, when you want to be in the lineup here at Penn State, you got to be you got to move. You got to sometimes move weights to make the team better, but find your spot in the lineup. And originally it wasn't going to be his year. He was going to take a year to develop a little bit more in the room. But when duty calls, you got to be ready.
And we get the first takedown here of this match.
He's got a chance at turning him right there. He's got a good spot with that leg.
DeCraker in real trouble here, just keeping that left shoulder off the mat.
This is going to be a tough spot here for Davis. 30 seconds to go. He's trying to move that ankle up.
It's going to be a near fall for sure.
He's got 4 on the hand of the referee.
And there it is.
Near fall points awarded Braeden Davis.
And we'll get a reset with 12 seconds left in the period. Take another look here at that near fall situation. And then DeCraker just finding his way back to his stomach to end the threat. Can he get free? Not yet. As Davis will just hold on and let the clock run out on period 1 with a 7-0 lead.
Yeah, and that was a good, that was pretty quiet for those first 2 minutes there. Davis gets the takedown and got into a position where DeCraker got a little antsy. Davis took advantage with his experience.
Davis looking for what would be his 45th career victory today. 22 wins as a freshman, 17 as a sophomore. But again, illustrating about how important it is to peak at the right time. An All-American last year despite 7 losses.
Yeah, for sure. And, sometimes the start of your season doesn't go as the way you can in the Big Ten stuff. So, it doesn't get any easier for you, especially once you get to the Big Ten tournament. Those matches in March are so important.
Also, maybe though, illustrates the adjustment to a new weight class last year, and it took him half a season to get there, and then he never looked back.
Yeah, when you adjust to a new weight class, you got one, you got to figure out how your weight fluctuates, how you're gonna, you want to be big for every weight class. So, how do you adjust your weight cut? What are you going to stay at during the week? But then also, it's a little bit of a change in style. The way you wrestle at 125 pounds and the way you wrestle at 141 pounds might be a little bit different. You don't want to change your style. You want to stick to what you're good at. You can't wrestle heavyweight like a lightweight.
Neither wrestler able to get position for a takedown there, and they'll get back to their feet after all of that.
I just said you can't wrestle heavyweight like a lightweight, but I think we saw Mirasola for Penn State earlier today. I think he looked good for, he looked quick for a heavyweight.
Looked downright spry for the 285 class.
Yeah, I take my words back.
But again, speaks to the fact that he was wrestling another guy in Christensen who also is not at max size for that class. Eight 0 lead for Davis. Both wrestlers at threat of a stalling warning right now. But with under 10 seconds to go in the period, neither official sanctioning either wrestler, and time will just run out as we head to the third here at 141. They're at Cael Sanderson, associate head coach, up and pacing on the sidelines.
See what Davis can do in the top position. He's new to this 141. Maybe, he's wrestled at this weight a little bit this season. He likes being a little bit bigger, feels better. It looks strong right there. Good mat return.
Got to get that right knee around. But now lost the left side, so no takedown awarded. What do you make of DeCraker's effort here? Doesn't have anything on the board unless he can get an escape there, which he can't.
I think, the way DeCraker's wrestled all match long, and, he hasn't given up. Davis got to his offense late in that first period, but after that, it's been a pretty quiet match so far. He's done good on his feet. He doesn't look tired. It's just that one takedown that turned into some near fall. Other than that, it's a pretty even match.
DeCraker still with an opportunity to get this back to just a decision margin, as we're going to get another reset. DeCraker just pointed at the scoreboard and asked about something.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's referencing there.
Yeah, one of the officials has gone over to the scores table to relay whatever that concern was. And it's at the clock, didn't stop quite in time, so they'll put 2 seconds back on it, 105. On deck for Penn State, the last #1 wrestler we'll see in action today, Shayne Van Ness at 149.
PJ Duke right behind him, also getting ready to go. Another freshman in the lineup.
And not that you would expect them to, but this Nittany Lion team isn't going anywhere anytime soon.
Well, they're probably going home later.
That is true. Headed back east this evening. Hopefully safe travels without complication.
Doing a good job up here in the top position. I think the Penn State coaches wanted to see this. You can get those, takedowns. You can prove you're good on your feet, but this is where it's important in March right here. Doing a good job staying right there. If he goes any further back, might have put himself in some danger, but good there from Davis. He's got both those legs in right there. Doing a good job here in the top position. I think if you're the Nittany Lions staff, you're happy with how this third period. Maybe no points showing, but getting better in that top position is so important.
And again, demonstrating that you can simply strangle a match and not allow anything to happen, maintain control. As time runs out, it's another major decision victory for Penn State. They go up 35-0 with 7 matches gone here today in Evanston. Not quite the dominance so far in this test for Penn State, and it's actually going to be the redshirt first-year August Hibbler going for Northwestern. That change made ahead of the duel today. Hibbler also having wrestled on Friday night in Madison, and he's got quite a test in front of him here with Van Ness. Van Ness 10-0 on the year, the 2-time All-American. All 10 of his victories this season with bonus points. August Hibbler, meanwhile, 2-4 on the year. Went 9-6 last year as a redshirt. As there's a takedown for Van Ness.
Van Ness really trying to work that wrist right away. We saw him on Friday, a big win against Ryder Block of Iowa, but got taken down right away, but didn't really set the tone for the match as Van Ness came out firing, able to get that major decision against Iowa's Ryder Block.
Van Ness, a guy who would probably be a 3-time All-American if not for getting injured 3 matches into his 2023-24 campaign and then missing the rest of the year.
He's trying to run a half. That Barr right now. He's got 2 different options to work with here. Trying to make Hibbler decide for him.
And Hibbler very literally there with his hand tied behind his back.
Can he run it right there? It's going to be tough.
Some oohs and ahs of anticipation from the crowd as Hibbler gets the escape back to his feet. Back to his knees before long. And it's another takedown for Van Ness.
And that was smooth. Gave up the escape, didn't get what he wanted to do in the top position. He wants to be on top right now. He wants to see if he can run something. Putting that far wrist to the hip.
In just an uncomfortable position here for August Hibbler. Van Ness in full control. A young fan in the crowd wants a stalling call.
There's not much you can do in that bottom position right there. When your arm's placed all the way around you. Now he's going to try to run it, see if he can. But we'll say Hibbler's doing a pretty good job. It may not look like he's doing much, but he's fighting in that bottom position.
Just trying to keep that left shoulder on the mat, not let it get rolled over. With 10 seconds to go in the first period. Again, it may not look like he's doing much, but just got to be a tough time there for August Hibbler.
See that takedown right there? Able to stay patient with the roll there from Hibbler.
At the end of that period there, Hibbler's hand almost looked like it was going white. the way it was pinned there.
Just going to let him free, but see if he can get something done on his feet. He's so quick to react on every move Hibbler makes.
Credit to Hibbler for trying to take a shot or two, but Van Ness, the kind of wrestler who knows what he's going to do, Hibbler, before he even does.
Yeah, he's patient, waiting for the right attack. Kind of let Hibbler do some hand fighting right there before driving in.
Van Ness, who has been the bronze medalist of sorts at Nationals both years he's been an All-American. This looks increasingly uncomfortable for Hibbler.
Yeah, he's not in a good position to get any points right there unless he can get Hibbler to readjust. And he's done so many different things in the top position to try and score some points. It's close right there, and it's going to start to get some swipes.
Hibbler's done well to hang on as long as he has, but Van Ness inching closer. And it's going to be 4 near fall points and then an escape. 30 seconds left in period 2.
Hibbler doing a good job of fighting. This is so hard against the #1 guy in the nation who's been trying to have his way with you in the top position. Doing a good job though. That gasses you out. As it switched to a cradle right there, not a whole lot of time to do so. Hibbler might have saved himself right there, as that was probably the cleanest shot. Van Ness had at back points right there.
10-point lead, riding time already secured. Van Ness, though, the way he's wrestling, Hayden, he is not looking for the tech fall. He's looking for a pin. Not that he wouldn't take the tech victory, should that be the way this third period pans out.
Yeah, and every time you go in the match, and when you are the favorite, you got a game plan. What do I want to do in this match? What do I want to work on? Do I want to get a couple of takedowns? I know I can take them down. Let's see if I can get a pin.
Just saw there, flashed on the scoreboard, 4 tech falls already this afternoon to go along with 1 fall and 2 major decisions.
Goes to a double right there. Hibbler trying to use his hips, but
and that means that the riding time point would give him the tech fall. So any more scoring for Van Ness would end this. And now he's going to twist up Hibbler's other arm.
so patient. He looks so comfortable in this position. It's not taking him much energy right now. Hibbler doesn't have much any defense right now, as he's flattened out right now.
And Van Ness just trying to turn 5 team points into 6 with 35 seconds to do so.
He's working on that leg again. He's got it tight.
Hibbler just does not, if anything, just want to give it to him.
Yeah, you got to give credit to Hibbler here. Van Ness is good in the top position. He's able to turn right or block on Friday and get some points, but Hibbler did a good job in the bottom position to fight.
There's something to be said for not getting pinned there by Augie Hibbler, but it is a tech fall victory for Shayne Van Ness, and that takes the team score to 39-0 for Penn State. As we head to what will be our last competitive match of the afternoon, due to 165 being a forfeit. It's 157, PJ Duke, number 3 in the country, taking on Northwestern's Gunnar Myers.
Yeah, I like PJ Duke a lot. Comes in here, and another one of those freshmen who is so good on the high school scene. He's a pinner. He's here to take the Big Ten Conference by storm.
5 falls in 10 victories this season. A tech fall and a major decision thrown in there too, but to your point, he is going to go pin hunting almost certainly from the jump. Gunnar Myers on the other side, 8-7 this year. Got a tech fall victory in his Big Ten debut.
So strong too, you see right there. As Gunnar Myers tries to get to a leg. Just the strength of PJ Duke. Gets that first takedown, he's gonna cut him right away. Cuts him, but doesn't try to get the distance too far right there as you see Storniolo throw the brick. He didn't want to see that escape award. He didn't want to see that escape awarded. As I kind of tend to agree with him there. I don't think they should have gave it to him right there.
Yeah, to say that that was 2 completely separate instances of takedowns and that there was a clear escape in between. I'm with you, Hayden. Kind of seemed like it was all part of one action.
You know, that's how Duke wrestles. He's not waiting for anyone to tell him what to do. He's going to go. So, you know, he just shook it. I don't care to my coaches. You know, take the points off the board. I'll try and get another one. Should hopefully be a quick review here.
Whole cohort of Northwestern staff over there. For what it's worth, Penn State would need a tech fall or a fall here from Duke to get to 50 points on the day. As we take another look at this sequence.
Gets a takedown, quickly cuts him, but not much separation. I mean, you could make the argument that's a neutral position, but I think that's, I guess, what's taking so long on this review is, you know, do they want to call that a neutral position or not?
Yeah, take a look here. So they get up and then they go right back down, and it's, I feel like we're arguing what a catch is in the NFL. It's just kind of going frame by frame here, determining if, you know, these are separate movements.
Yeah, and it's tough to go to review. I mean, you need to watch it at full-time speed. That's a call that's better made on the mat, and it's really tough to, you know, overturn your decision off review, especially in these that require some time in between.
I think there's also maybe a bit of an instance there that's clearly what Duke was trying to do, was to release and then go back in for a takedown. The question is, did he really release Gunnar Myers?
Get a good look at Matt Storniolo. Big fan of his over the years. Had a couple good teams back in the 2010s and early 2020s. Trying to get his program back to those as we get another look right here.
So Myers still on a knee there, gets up, and then immediately is tripped back down. Yeah, so either this is 6 points for Duke and 1 for Myers, or just 3 for Duke.
Yeah, I mean, they're spending a lot of time on this review, and let's say they take it away. PJ Duke's going to cut them right away and say, let's go to work. So,
now you mentioned, though, Northwestern, though, top 10 finishes at the NCAAs in 2021 and 2022. Led by Ryan Deacon, 2022 individual national champion at 157 pounds. There's also a part of this review that says, whatever the call here is, it's probably not going to have a real big impact on the final numbers.
Yeah, for sure. But, you know, if you're Storniolo, you want to give your guys the best opportunity to win a match. You know, you never know what's going to happen in this match. And, you know, without throwing the brick, you're kind of throwing in the towel. You know,
right.
It's just kind of the standpoint that PJ Duke, he's a goer, and he doesn't really care what the score, what that score shows. He's gonna, you know, he's not changing how he's gonna wrestle. But this is too long to review. I think, you know, this is something you can look at right away and make that call. You know, this has kind of been a controversy since college wrestling brought in the reviews. It is good because there's two guys on the mat. One guy's making that decision. As we're getting a decision right there.
I think the wrestlers just want to get on with this.
It looked like we had a decision, but maybe not. Might be more complicated than it seemed. Maybe trying to get that time. It's also a factor in, as you want to keep that time component in place. Make sure there's...
They're going to take the points off the board. They're going to say it is just one takedown, no escape, and then a mat return. So it's 3-0, not 6-1. Okay, then. And Hayden, I imagine your prediction here that Duke's going to immediately cut Myers loose. And we're going to see this go back to 6-1 quickly. There's the one.
Coach Thornhill had it right. But PJ Duke is going to go. I had that part right.
Looking to get back to 6.
Ooh, good job there from Myers. Might have put him in a tough spot right now. PJ Duke's not in a good spot to maybe get those points, but...
And there's another escape. Certainly looks like catch and release is going to be Duke's approach to this match.
We did a good job of keeping that hand on the mat and rotating. That was pure strength right there. He used that wrist to get behind.
One escape, Gunnar Myers.
Another escape. 1:13 to go in the period. And another takedown.
An easy takedown right there. Kind of having his way right now. Don't think they gave the escape right there.
One escape, Gunnar Myers. 1 minute remaining in the period.
Chance here, though, for Duke to be sitting on 15 points, if not more, by the end of this opening period.
Tries to go to the double right there, and he's had different approaches to every one of his attacks, which is impressive for a young freshman. Myers just trying to stay in the fight here.
No takedown yet. As we'll reset. Myers just clasping his hands around Duke's left leg.
Yeah, and Duke was ready for the stalemate. He knew that one was going nowhere. Kind of in a similar position here. Myers a good scrambler, but Duke trying to get some back points, and he's got some. He's got it tight right here, and that's going to be tough to fight off of for 20 seconds.
And there's the pin. Emphatic for Penn State, and with a forfeit at 165, it is going to be 51-0, the final score today here in Evanston. And again, Penn State, they always, Hayden, somehow find new ways to be impressive, as here comes the forfeit for Mitchell Messenbrink. Arm is raised to the crowd. 6 more points go on the board. He'll go jog back to the bench. And that is that. Hayden, whatever we might have expected today, Penn State delivered as we take a look at this pin at 157.
Yeah, PJ Duke, so good. Like we said, he's a pinner. He came in here for bonus points. He has different methods to his attack, and I think that's what's so impressive to me. But, a good performance here from Penn State.
So Penn State moving to 3-0 in Big Ten action